Good afternoon. Yeah, it's afternoon. It's 20 past 12. How are you? I am here. Apollo is here, of course. I don't think he was present in my last vlog of 40. And now he is pretty wet because this morning when I went upstairs to dye, yes, I'm dyeing today, but I'm wearing the dye dress as well. He was outside and I have been upstairs for hours. And so when I came back down half an hour ago, he had been in the rain the entire morning. We don't have a cat door. Whenever he wants to go in or out, we will have to open the door for him, but that's okay. He is not much of an outgoing kitty anymore. He's a bit old, he's 15. He likes to be inside, he likes his cuddles. Well, that's nothing new. I told you all about it in my 40-day vlog. This Monday evening was the launch of my advent calendar. And we had a successful launch, but I was so excited the entire Easter weekend that I cast on 3 new things. Okay, I did cast on the 24 birds on the penultimate day of the 40 vlogs, I think. But I cast on other things as well. I'm always so excited. This is the 3rd time that we are doing an advent. And this year it is even better than the previous 2. Last year I was like, well, I don't know if we can top this. But well, we are definitely going to top this. And for those of you who don't know, I have an advent calendar for a bit of a modest price if you look at other advent calendars. I'm in the lower range, and to be able to provide a somewhat friendlier priced advent, so to say, we do 12 skeins of 75-25 merino, 12 20-gram skeins. Because every time when people hear the price of my advent, they are like, yeah, well, that must be a catch. But it's not. It's really not. We have a very high-end, beautiful calendar for a very friendly price. So 12 skeins of 20 gram, 75-25 merino, and that's mulesing free. There's nothing strange with the wool or anything. And 12 handy crafty notions. And then for day 25, there is a pattern in which you can use all your gifts and yarns and everything. And the packaging is beautiful. Before you go like, oh, that must all come from countries where work ethics are not that high. No, that's not true. Most of our advent gifts are produced in the Netherlands. So I am supporting other makers by buying stuff for my advent with them. We do need to order things from the Far East as well, but we are really careful about what and where we order. And like I said, most of the stuff is from inside the Netherlands. Last year we had also something that was produced in Spain. yeah, well, it's a bit hard for me to recall what we all had in our Advent calendar last year. Oh, several things that we found at the wholesale fair in Cologne. So, well, we are very happy and so excited about what we put together for you this year. There are still Advent calendars up for sale. We have a fixed number in our head, and that's it. As soon as we are sold out, that's it. There won't be another batch or anything, no. And because we custom dye our Advent calendar, like when you ordered your Advent calendar, you will receive a questionnaire that you fill out, and that will determine the palette we will dye up for you. That is a very ambitious plan, but I did it last year as well. And well, that means that I can't dye much in advance. So at a certain point in time, the Advent calendar will be taken down from our website, because then we just need to stop selling ones. But I hope to sell out before we get to that point. That would be awesome. And our Advent calendar is $89.95. That is a little less or more than $1. I don't know really. Well, let's check that out. Okay. And our Advent calendar is priced at $97.67 in dollars, that is. And then of course there's shipping, but that's like, what is it? I don't know the exact shipping rate, but we have just a super normal shipping rate. We don't add on the shipping or anything. So for a little over $100, you will have an awesome Advent calendar. Okay, enough with the shameless self-promotion. I got mail from Litauen, from Apmescha. I have 5 skeins of this for Kirsi's sweater. I'm designing her a sweater, and we had way too little of this yarn. I'm going to the 2 balls that I have left will go in a bag together, and they will be called ruffle 1, because I have a ruffle on one side now, and that yarn will be used for the same ruffle on the other side. And then these will be ruffle 2, and once the second ruffle is done, I will put them in a bag saying ruffle 2, so the rest of this will go to the other side. And well, that's how I planned it. And I have 5 of these skeins. I think 4 is enough, but I don't want to have an issue with ordering extra yarn again. Let's look at some knitting. First of all, I already cast this on the last day or something of the 40-day vlogs. This is my 24 Birds Mystery Knit Along by Helen Stewart. I am halfway clue 2, and I saw clue 3 coming in today, and this is a lovely knit. It is very clear on what you have to do. I'm following her color changing advice. We are at 288 stitches at the moment, and this is designed with the Elizabeth Zimmerman formula. So this is such a nice shawl to knit. Oh, there's a bit of room at my cast on point, Apollo, move the camera stand again. I did the Emily Ocker cast on like suggested in the pattern. That is the cast on where you have an X amount of stitches on your crochet hook and then you move them to your knitting needles and go from there. It's living in my new bag that Esther made for me because I thought it was nice and matching with the colors of the yarn. And this is my color A, my color B, C, and this is my contrast. So this is my palette. I am currently knitting with colors B and C, and I think that in clue 3 we will double the stitches once again, and that's the last time. That was a little disappointing to me because I also knitted the anthology throw, and I was hoping that this shawl would be as big as the anthology throw, but we won't go up to 1100 whatever stitches. So I will just have to see how things work out. It will be beautiful. The yarn is my Wool Hobby Merino 7525, the same yarn that will be in the advent calendar. And well, I might finish clue 2 today, depending on what else I'm knitting on. I have another cast on, again, in my new bag that Esther made for me. And I picked this bag because it was also matching the project. I am using Wools of Holland yarn, and this is their mohair mix with Shetland wool, Leicester long wool and sea cell. And this yarn was supposed to be a Banau Breeze last year, around the same time really. But I did not like the yarn and the pattern combination. So I decided to frog, and now I did a search, an advanced search in Ravelry on patterns, telling Ravelry how much yarn I had, which needle I would want to use, that I would only want to use one color, that I wanted to knit a tee or a top or whatever. So that resulted in many hits, but I decided on the Filigree tee by Julie Knits in Paris. And this is what I have so far. It is a tee with a raglan, so you can see it happening here. This is going out. There is a yarn over detail at the raglan, and this is a 4-row repeat that you have to do 18 times, and then you will have 440 stitches, and you will close the T, the V-neck in front. And I think that pretty soon after that you will split for the sleeves. So, and then you will have the normal circumference that you are going to be using throughout the project. It has a positive ease. I had to go up 2 needle sizes because happily enough I found my little swatch. I already told this in the 40 vlogs, and there are 3 holes and 2 holes here. So this swatch is knitted on 3.5mm needles. So I did not have to redo the swatch. This one is already washed, and I only had to calculate which size I needed to knit because I was not getting gauge. The gauge was 20 stitches on 10 centimeters and I'm at 24, I believe. So I'm going up 2 sizes. I was supposed to knit 2XL for my size, but I'm doing a 4XL to eventually get a project that fits me. So that was the Filigree tee by Julie Knits in Paris. I've knitted the Gaudi sweater, which is also one of her patterns. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. The 18 times that I have to repeat those 4 rows, and in the first row you add 10 stitches, and in the third row you add 8 stitches. So the rows are getting quite long. You will end up with 440. I think I said that, but I went to the kitchen to turn the meat in the pan, so I was kind of distracted. I have another new cast on, and that lives in my bucket of minis. I found all my scrap yarn, and as you can see there are really tiny bits here, but the closer I get to the bottom of the bucket, the bigger the yarn balls are. See, it's getting bigger. So, and there's a reason why I pack them this way. I started the Excavation blanket and this is a scrappy blanket where you don't need to weave in ends because all these yarns will be cut to fringes. I am planning on making a square blanket. What you do, you start to knit, leaving a 5-inch tail or something, then you knit across, you knit back, cut a tail again, and you tie a knot here. That's what you do. I think it's a free pattern. I'm going to prep project pages for all my new cast-ons because I did not do that yet. The Excavation is a diagonal fringe scrap blanket by Hypnotizer. Yeah, that's a nice name. I wish I had cool names like that. Yes, it's a free Ravelry download. I saw this in the vlog of Amy, Noble Character Crafts, and well, she had a very ambitious blanket. She started it in 2017 and she only knits on it when she finishes a fingering weight project, and then she knits the scrap yarn in her blanket. I think she has about the same amount of stitches I have, but she is on the way back and I'm still on the way in. What she changed about the pattern, if you look at this side of the blanket, this is obviously the right side. If you look at this side of the blanket, you recognize it as the wrong side of your blanket. Amy did not want to have half a blanket with the right side and half a blanket with the wrong side, because When you have reached the diagonal that you want to have, I think the pattern says 300 whatever stitches, then at that point you are going to start on this side of the blanket, leave a tail, knit across, knit back, and leave a tail again, so that you get fringes on, well, the top side of your blanket. But that means that the second half of your blanket will look like the back side. Amy did not want that, so she purled the entire back side of the entire second half of the blanket. I don't mind purling. I don't mind this in my blanket either. And I would not mind grafting two halves together. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. If I want to have the blanket like this, I think that has a slightly preference opposite of having the second half like this. So I'm leaning towards this. But am I going to purl the second half of the blanket, or am I going to make a second half and graft them together? I've also been wondering if there would be a way to keep starting on the same side but end with the fringes here. I don't know. Anyways, I don't have to make a decision yet, because this is all I have so far. If I pick a new color and I'm just choosing randomly, if I wonder if I have enough, the pattern says that you need 5 to 6 times as much as the diagonal that you need to knit. So if I'm in doubt, I just measure it out, and if I see that I'm okay, then I will just knit it. If not, I will put it aside for the way back, because then you need little bits of scrap again. It's all fingering weight. I really like working on this. It's just on the table here, so every time when I have a minute, like yesterday, I was doing the dreadful administration, because tax, how do you call that? Tax forms need to be filled out before the end of this month. So, but I'm really dreading administrative tasks like that. So, but I did not want to leave it pending, because next week, most of my week will be going to the fair in Tilburg. So I did not want to leave it until after the fair, because then half of April will be over, and then it would not only be a dreadful task, but also something that was kind of urgent. So I did not want that. So yesterday I did Pomodoro of tax administration. So I set my alarm for 25 minutes, worked with focus, did not check my email, did not check my socials, just 25 minutes of focused work, and then I had a 5-minute break, and then I knitted a row on my blankie. So that was nice. That helped me through, really. I've also been casting on the second sock of my lenteregen. I'm 25 rounds in, I think. So I have 60 rounds on the leg, 80 rounds on the foot. And this foot, look, this is also something that I saw in Amy's vlog. She always she told that whenever she had holes in her socks, it was always this part, the front of the foot. And I am mending socks for Yolanda, who also had holes on the front of the foot, not on the heel, the front of the foot. A way to prevent that from happening is adding a slip stitch pad here, which I did. The last 20 rounds before starting the toe, I did a slip stitch pattern. So 1 round of knit 1, slip 1, and then knit 1 round, and then knit 1, slip 1, only on the foot. So this has kind of a squishy feel to it. You don't feel it when you wear your socks. It's like a slip stitch heel, really. It just gives that bit of extra sturdiness to it. And when I switched to the yarn for the toe, I decided to do a slip stitch round as well, just on the front of the foot, because on the back of the foot, well, I already had the slip stitch pattern, but this is the side that you are looking at most of the time, right? So sock 1 is done. I need to take this with me to the fair, and sock 2 is on its way. It is, like I said, I'm 25 rounds in or something. I have my markers here, so each time when I think, oh, I have about 10 rows done again, I pick a marker from this sock, move it to this sock, and that way I don't need to count endless times, and I will get the same length of sock as the first one. But like I said, 60 rounds on the leg, 80 rounds on the foot. And I'm really curious to see how this wears. I don't have holes in my socks. I don't walk around on my socks. But usually I wear my Birkenstocks. So we will just see how this goes. To be continued. I'm going to cast on one other pair of socks, because Lisa, Paper Daisy Creations, she is hosting the Single Sock Spectacular Make-Along, and every sock that you knit in one of her patterns, every single sock gives you an entry to win prizes. The prize vault is already over $700, and if you knit a sock in sponsor yarn, you get 2 entries for 1 sock. And you don't have to finish a pair, you just have to finish socks. So if you have second sock syndrome, this is the time to knit that second sock, if it's one of her patterns, of course. She has over 70 sock patterns, and I bought 8 yesterday. I shared it on my socials. She had a BOGO sale, so buy one, get one. So I bought a bundle of 4, the Socks of Witchcraft bundle and the Socks of Story Time bundle. Yes, I think so. So I have 8 patterns, and I did a poll in my Facebook group to see which one I should cast on. And I stopped counting this morning, but most of the votes were for Castle in the Sky. So that is the sock I'm going to cast on this weekend. And I'm a sponsor. I don't think I will be eligible for prizes, but I do want people to have fun with this Single Sock Spectacular. So hence my reason to cast on. And yeah, well, we will just see if I will get a sock finished. I still need to pick my color, The pattern picture has this bright limey color, and yeah, well, I'm not sure yet. It's going to be a single semi-solid color, but I'm not sure which color yet. To be continued. I think that's it for now. I think so. I will prep my Ravelry pages and link them all in the show notes. I will also link to my web shop if you are interested in an advent. Like I said, as long as they are available, time-wise or amount-wise, the amount that we have put up for sale. For now, I'm going to wish you happy crafting. I won't be recording next week because my time will be consumed by going to the fair, but I will record shortly after that. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you the next time. Bye bye.